It was stated that they will carry it out. Finally, we're off. A Chicago suburb was the scene of an attack on an immigrant rights activist by an ICE agent. The ICE agent is completely to blame. I'm sorry to say it. It seems to be video-based. However, this is the tactic these incredibly bothersome individuals employ. The "I'm not touching you" tactic is in play here, intended not to be endearing. In fact, that is the strategy. Provoking a reaction requires antagonizing as many people as possible. They find that doing what's right, but obviously not making someone so angry that they explode. In addition, you will face arrest if you lack the self-restraint necessary to handle this situation. In reality, the plot is pretty mundane. As has been the case with many others, an activist had been filming this ICE officer while he was off duty, pumping gas, and reporting their license plates. We don't just see these groups emerging out of Minnesota. They're everywhere. Just what does this man do all day? Afterwards, the ICE agent reportedly approaches the man and attempts to knock the phone from his hand. Following this, the man files a felony battery charge. At least, according to the state. Look, it's a misdemeanor. Plus, guess what? To be honest, it's more likely a warning than anything else. If you strike someone's phone, you're sure to face consequences. You ought to face consequences. Additionally, it is imperative that these ICE agents acquire self-control. Even last year, I made that statement. I'll restate it. A week ago, I said it. A higher standard will be expected of you. Could be unfair, but that's beside the point. You must be. You must also anticipate their strategies in order to overcome them. There was no way it would be simple. Furthermore, CBP agents are not qualified to handle ICE cases. Keep your cool, man. You are not qualified to perform this task. This ICE officer needs to be fired, in my opinion. Going up to someone and physically attacking them because they are filming you is going to ruin it for everyone. What do? I'll tell you. You approach the camera and politely request, "Hey, extend your hand," if they are recording you. "So-and-so is my name. Pleasure meeting you." "Is this all you're doing? I thought I could lend you a hand." "All right, I apologize for introducing myself. I didn't want to be an annoyance. I hope you have a good day." Does it make sense to you to do that? Opposing viewpoint. In order to be the first to exist outside of a story, do the right thing, raise your game, and enhance your character. This is the backstory. An ICE officer has been charged with assaulting an immigrant rights activist in a Chicago suburb, according to NBC5 Chicago. He stepped it up a notch. I was stopped by him. He attempted to steal my phone and then threw me to the floor. I am deeply disappointed. In no world acceptable. Please consider subscribing and sharing my videos with your friends if you enjoy what I do. Allegedly, last month at a gas station in the West Suburban Brookfield, an off-duty ICE officer assaulted a demonstrator. The alleged victim, Robert Held, 68, and the authorities both agree that Held followed ICE officer Adam Sarco from the suburban Broadview ICE facility's parking lot and videotaped him while he pulled over for gas. According to Held, the ICE officer began to approach him while he was standing on the sidewalk. He made himself more visible. He attacked me, knocked me to the floor, and then attempted to steal my phone. A word like "calm down" escaped my lips. You must learn to calm down. According to Held, passers-by started beeping their horns, and Sarco finally released him. Authorities in the 9200 block of East 3031st Street have charged the officer with a misdemeanor count of battery related to an assault that occurred at a gas station on December 27th. The Office of Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke and the police have reported that prosecutors looked over the case and decided not to press felony charges, suggesting instead that it should be handled as a misdemeanor. According to Held, the police informed him at first that the incident, which took place on a public sidewalk and involved a person over the age of 60, was being investigated as a felony. Later on, he learned that felony battery charges are usually reserved for cases where another crime is also charged by the prosecutor. However, in the end, all Held wanted was for charges to be filed. I'm relieved that responsibility will be taken and that fairness will be served. Allegedly, a former ICE agent named Adam Sarco was the subject of multiple dismissed lawsuits filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. An African-American immigrant asserted in a late 2016 lawsuit that Sarco and other ICE officers had assaulted him at the Chicago headquarters earlier in the year. James Cheshire, the victim, claimed that ICE agents brutally attacked him without provocation, using degrading language and physically assaulting him. It calls services a level of force that is excessive. Since it was disregarded, I no longer care about it. Therefore, provide evidence if possible. In any case, it amounts to insults. Nonetheless, we can access Rob Held's Instagram post by simply pulling this one up. We can try playing the video, people, and then maybe just leaving. Yeah, a guy stormed me. What made him attack me is a mystery to me. Over the weekend, I was recording near the Broadview, Illinois ICE processing facility when a federal agent violently pushed me to the ground. I was filming lawfully from a public sidewalk when that agent attempted to seize my phone. As of right now, the local police are looking into this as a potential case of felony battery. Not at all. Even though this story has been around for a while, it really took off after the charges were announced. That was under their investigation. Recently, the accusations were dropped. This ICE agent ought to be let go. I apologize. Let me see if I can get you to take it up. Excuse me? Oh well. What I mean is that he's bringing shame on everyone. He attacked this man. For what reason? Are they antagonizing you? They're trying to. Are you too weak that you can't handle an old man filming you? Man, spare me. Fire the guy. Listen, I'm sympathetic to these ICE officers. I want you to listen to this, okay? This is Philadelphia DA Larry Craner threatening ICE agents. Listen to this. This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Yahtzees for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice. And this is a... Yeah, so listen. I'm sympathetic to the people that I have personally asked to go enforce the law. You see, I voted. You voted. The people who voted for the Republicans and Donald Trump said, please go and enforce the law. And that's what they're doing. But hold on there a gosh darn minute. I'm going to make it real simple for all of you. If I hire a guy contractor, I say, buddy, I need you to go and make sure nobody is breaking into my house. Security, right? And then one day, there's a guy standing across the street and he's filming. He's allowed to do it. And that security guard, who works for me, walks over and slams him to the ground. I'm firing that guy in 2 seconds. Are you nuts? We don't want more attention. ICE can't handle these kinds of mistakes. And let's just start here. First, crime was committed. ICE agent should be charged. I think it's a misdemeanor. Look, you get into a scuffle, you get a miss. You don't go to prison for a decade for something like this. I should fire him. And some people are going to be like, that's not fair. He wasn't on the job. This is about being honorable, doing the right thing. And if an ICE agent is at work and activists follow him to a gas station just filming him, they're allowed to do it. And then he instigates he initiates a fight attacking an old man. That's not somebody you can have. That's not somebody. He's short-tempered. He's going to cause problems. With all that being said, there are good people working these jobs. They want to protect this country. They're hired to do so. And I'm not going to say that every ICE agent is bad because one guy roughed somebody up. Plus, guess what? We got a bunch of instances where ISIS roughed people up. Sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. And they need to be above board. I warned you last year. I said they're going to take every opportunity to say they're Yazis, they're Gestapo, and they're going to hunt you down. And that means you've got to do everything beyond the book, not just by the book. PR is going to matter, because if Trump does this with a heavy hand, I'm talking about the immigration enforcement, not riot control or crowd control. They're going to rally, raise money, and they're going to win elections. And they're doing it through violence. Now listen, this guy, this is seditious conspiracy. This is incitement to violence. How is it? How is it allowed? We had this guy running for AG in Ohio campaigning on killing Donald Trump. Not exaggerating. It's literally what he's running on. He should go to jail. I do not believe we can tolerate as a nation political campaigns predicated upon hunting down law enforcement for years or killing politicians. It's just going to get crazier, my friends. You know, the Ilhan Omar attack thing? You've already got Republicans, like legit, I think you've got a couple of Republicans saying it was fake. It's all staged. Conservatives just don't believe it anyway. You've got a DA saying he's going to reveal the identities of ICE agents and hunt them down for decades. I mean, that is intended to intimidate law enforcement, to obstruct federal law. I'll tell you this, the law don't matter at this point. So maybe the ICE agent, he'd get charged no matter what. None of it matters. The left is going to justify every action they take in use of force. And the right, I gotta be honest, they're largely just not. They're not using any kind of force. Don't get me wrong, you've got ICE out on the streets, but that's just the government. I'm talking about conservatives. They don't do anything. I love guys. Let me give you some advice. If you truly believe you're the best and you can't lose, by all means, believe it. Hold it in your heart of hearts. Act as though you can lose, and you will lose. You know, that's how I've always approached my business and my philosophy, is I certainly think I'm capable and will succeed, but I always act as though the possibility of failure is real and contingencies must be prepared for. Failing the plan is planning to fail. So what are we looking at? Minnesota armed insurgency state, backed with institutional power, conspiring against the federal law enforcement that are on the ground. Does the right have any kind of mechanism like this? The answer is no, they don't. Communications and organization is a prerequisite for winning any conflict. Now the right is dejected. They are spattered about across the country. There's no strong organization, no big 1,000 multi-us state-backed institutionalized paramilitary wing like the Democrats have. But the conservatives are oh so confident they'll win a civil war. You have no fighters. You've got people willing to defend their families that are armed, true, but you have no one who is prepared, knowledgeable on acquiring resources, securing territory. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm pointing this out. Sit back and say, Sam, you are wrong. We'll win. Then read The Art of War. When I am weak, I appear strong. When I am strong, I appear weak. And right now, you're appearing very, very strong. The indication is weakness. Seriously, that doesn't mean you're actually weak, but the left appears weak, and you laugh. Look at these fat morons trying to throw a flashbang. They're so dumb. Because when I am strong, I appear weak. Sun Tzu, smart guy. Win the war before it begins. Have you won the war? It has not begun, perhaps, but have you won it? No. Well, the left has state-institutionalized paramilitary wings already. It's been exposed. We know it. And it's operating now, apparently, in Illinois as well. They're tracking these license plates. The right sitting back being like, yeah, but I got guns. That's great. What happens when they cut you off from food? What's that gun going to do for you? You going to go hunt? Okay, no, for sure. I mean, you can. They're going to cut you off from your water. They're going to cut you off from your food because they've planned it. They've organized it. They've been publishing stories. This goes back to 2018 about sabotaging railway lines, and the right has nothing like this. They rely on government. They vote. Okay, let's just say you got 1,000 people on one side of the football field and 1,000 people on the other, side A. These people are zealous ideologues who believe in the grand vision of a beautiful utopia, and nothing will stand in their way. The other side wants to be left alone. Who wins? Just read some history books. I'm going to wrap it up there, my friends. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know, and should be interesting to see what goes on throughout these next coming weeks. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means it's doing its job. Because the people who benefit from chaos, censorship, and endless war need you quiet, distracted, and scrolling past the truth. So don't. Hit like so this punches through the algorithm fog. Subscribe if you're done letting media, NGOs, tech elites, and war profiteers decide what's acceptable. And turn on notifications, because when the narrative shifts again, you're going to want to be early, not gaslit.